Hello, welcome to the When I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. Nothing too expensive here, folks. So last night, I did something I normally don't do. I actually watched American TV. I saw a couple of sitcoms. I believe it was on Channel 7. I don't remember the names because it's nothing to. This isn't like a review of the show or recommendation or anything, but because I usually watch if I watch TV, which is rare, but I only watch Korean TV for obvious reasons. They have hot Asian chicks on there, and they have the Korean music shows, so I can watch, my K-pop idols. A bunch of skinny hot chicks dancing. I mean, that's the main reason why you should like K-pop because it's a bunch of skinny hot chicks just dancing. Yeah, I don't know what they're saying. Doesn't matter. They got great bodies though. Man, like Hanny from New Jeans. Actually, every member of New Jeans, once again, fellas, if you're a heterosexual man and you like good-looking women, there's this K-pop group called New Jeans. I I would love to have sex with each member twice, maybe three times. Every member, they're all gorgeous. I totally recommend them. Anyway, back to the topic. So I was watching these two sitcoms, and both shows were about completely different things, but they're both comedies. Both shows had these things in common though. They both had like a gay couple. They both had the men were were just stupid. Like the men were the brunt of the jokes. The men were um, just incapable of doing basic stuff. And of course the women were perfect. They were the best at doing everything the man couldn't do. They could do it like at the drop of a hat. They were making fun of the guys the whole time. It was nothing I was interested in. I'm like, dude, this is what I call feminist entertainment. I don't see how these shows are gonna last. I just can't say it because like, why would a man watch a show where the only thing that's going on in the show is that they're putting down men? And I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's happened to entertainment. You know, like well, and then you saw what happened with Marvel's Phase Four, where they were really pushing like the women, so it became the MCU, and like like all the male characters are dumb now, and they're replacing them with women, and just the women, of course, are a lot way better than the men. And guess what happened? Like people people didn't support. It was the lowest box office results were from those movies. So like people don't like it, but it keeps getting pushed. So I don't know, what it's gonna take to make it stop. Well, obviously it's gonna take people not supporting it financially, and it seems to um, be working because like oh, stuff has been canceled and changed, but there's still like a lot out there that's just I don't know. It's gotta go. I don't know. But anyway, I complain a lot. I know. So did you guys hear about the hockey player Ivan Provorov? He's a defenseman on the Flyers. Um, he wouldn't wear this like gay pride jersey. I guess I don't follow sports anymore because the players protest and they kneel for the anthem and they do stuff like wear pride jerseys. But anyway, the Flyers had like Pride Night a couple nights ago, which I don't know why. It's it's the NHL. Why are we mixing, you know, groomers like groomer propaganda with the sport? The average person who is a NHL fan is only watching the sport for hockey, not for politics. But anyway, so the Flyers decided to do their pre-game warm-up, like their skate around. They were wearing special jerseys with like the rainbow colors and stuff. So Ivan didn't want to wear it, so he stayed in the locker room. You know, he he's well, he's not gay. And he's looked up to by a lot of children. He probably doesn't want to promote that. I mean, there's so many reasons why uh, not to wear the gay pride jersey, but he said he didn't wear it because it goes against his religion. And so he's being attacked in the media. But what I don't understand is this country was was founded on people coming here to have freedom of religion and to avoid religious prosecution. But if you've noticed the past 3 years, your religion doesn't matter. Like all the people who didn't want to take the vaccine because of religious reasons, because the vaccine had it had like fetal cells in it, which goes against I guess that's the abortion thing, so it just went against certain people's religion. And so when people ask for a religious exemption, they're like, no. It's like they pick and choose when, when like your rights matter. It just makes no sense. But anyway, so the reason shouldn't matter. But if your reason for not doing something is religion, and this country is founded on that, it blows my mind when you have all these people angry at the guy, especially people in media. Some of them going, well, he needs to go back to Russia. And the thing that makes this funny is let's let's say if he was from Africa, do you think those people could go, he needs to go back to Africa? That would be that would be considered racist. But because he's a white Russian guy, it's okay. Like it's okay to be racist toward a white guy. It's okay to, tell a white guy to go, fuck off. But anyway, his jersey sold out though because the average person is like him. The average person doesn't want anything to do with the gay propaganda. And like he's my new favorite hockey player now, Ivan Provov. Um, he's a defenseman. Like, why are we mixing politics and entertainment? You know, it just makes no sense. And then like, what about the kids? Imagine being a parent and you take your kid to the game, and now you have to explain why they're wearing rainbow jerseys. Like you don't want to have that conversation with your kid about, that that crap. Like you, your child shouldn't even know what sexuality is. You know, like like if your kid's like whatever 6, 7, 8, your kid should know about that. I understand like a 12-year-old, but we can, like for some reason we won't let children be children in this country. We are throwing adult topics at children all the time because that's what happens when you put politics, identity politics, propaganda in our entertainment. Remember, children. like if it's just adults watching hockey, if it's just adults watching movies, if it's just adults reading comic books, well, just whatever entertainment, you could do whatever you want because adults, you know, can make their own decisions and aren't, well, supposedly aren't going to be influenced, aren't going to be brainwashed. But when you have children involved, you know, some of these hockey players are heroes to young impressionable people who know nothing about this this bullshit lifestyle, and now they do because they went to a game where everyone's wearing rainbow shit, and now mom and dad have to explain it. Now, now they learn something new at 8 years old, and they're like, "Oh, what is this?" Yeah, I don't know. It's like if you want to have children today and you want them to grow up, decent, you basically can't take them outside. Like you can't let them watch TV. You can't let them read comic books for sure, because in comics everyone's gay now. Like they made Superman gay, which or his son, whatever. It doesn't matter. And of course, it doesn't sell. And or if it's a TV show, like I was saying before, like where you got everyone's like a lesbian couple, you know, the ratings go down the toilet, and then they call everyone else a bigot. No, it's just the average person doesn't want to see that. The average person is straight. The average person is capable. Like like the average man is capable, has a at least an average IQ, isn't stupid. So like even though it's entertainment, you want it to kind of represent the real world. If it's like a modern show, like a modern sitcom, you want it to have some like anchor in reality. And in reality, if you take the average person is straight. The average person has an IQ above shoebox. The average person is a capable adult of, you know, functioning, and is heterosexual and likes sports for entertainment. And you wonder why everything's just gone to hell. Oh yeah, speaking of hell and children, um, I I'm gonna admit, well, I don't have to admit. You hear me laughing. Uh, there was a story out of Dallas where when I saw this, I could not believe it. But this is another example of our country going to hell. There are these two 14-year-old girls. They're they both live in the same apartment complex, and they were fighting like like a fist fight outside. Okay, I'm not reading the details, and I'm not even reading it. I'm just telling you. One of the girls goes goes away. I'm assuming inside her house, comes back out with a gun, shoots at the other 14-year-old girl. Of course, she misses. It hits an 11-year-old boy that was standing next to her, and he dies. The shooter runs away, hides somewhere, and like they find her, like the cops come, they find her, whatever. Um, Imagine being 14, you get into a fight, and your first thought is, well, I'm gonna go get a gun and shoot this person. What what has happened to our youth? It's the bad parenting. Single mother. She probably, most likely, doesn't have a father. Most likely, this is a girl raised by a single mom. You know, um, without the dad. You know, like men instill logic to the children. Children with fathers are have better control over their emotions. So yeah, and there were, everyone's black, so honestly, it doesn't matter. But anyway, um, the only thing weird about this story is that it happened in Dallas instead of Chicago. Now, if it happened in Chicago, I probably wouldn't have even noticed it. But when I saw, the headline, like, like Dallas, I'm like, oh, whoa. I mean, this, like, Chicago stuff happens in Dallas? Because Dallas is nice. Like, you never hear stories of, kids killing kids from, from Dallas. Now, Chicago, it happens every day. Like, every day in Chicago, there's, like, what was the average in Chicago? Like, five people are shot to death in Chicago every day? That's, like, the average? Something like that. Like, yeah, like, Chicago's horrible. But it's also the greatest population control ever of black people in history. Chicago is blatant racism in your face. But hey, like, it is smart to keep it concentrated to one area, okay? Because that element of the human race commits the most crime. Put them all in one area, let them sort it out. I get it, okay? Like, I understand what the U.S. government is doing, okay? Like, it's better to have just one, like, festering cesspool of violence and murder in one concentrated area instead of having it sprinkled out throughout the whole country, because, like, that would bring down the whole country. In this case, you're only bringing down one portion of the country, and it's like no one's gonna move there because they know how bad it is. So the only people who would move there are other bad people. So in a way, it makes the country safer by having, like, this black hole of, like, horror. It's like Chicago and DC. DC is a far second to Chicago, but I mean, DC's bad too. So you got DC and Chicago, and then, like, the rest of the country is okay, and then all the bad people slowly migrate to those two cities, and all the good people who live in those cities slowly migrate out. I mean, I've met a lot of people from DC and Chicago, and the reason why they left is because it was a crappy place. Because good people leave horrible situations. Well, and, like, smart people leave horrible situations too. I mean, that's why um, you'll see women in abusive relationships, and, like, they stay in them for, like, decades. Well, it's because they're not that smart. It does take a form of intelligence to leave a situation. Now, if you're living with emotions first, well, then you're not gonna leave. Hence why women stay with abusive people for, sometimes decades. I've talked to several women. They're like, he almost killed me like 20 times. But you stayed, though. Anyway, that's how it is. Oh my god. If I stay online and just keep watching the news feed, I bet you in the next 5 minutes there'll be another story about a kid doing something bad. But anyway, I've said enough bullshit for today. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.